deciding to invest in myself during this low period was for sure the best decision I've ever made. Honestly, when you're going through it like that, when you're trying to figure it out and you're trying to end up better on the other end of whatever it is you're going through, it's almost necessary. Like, it's not an option, it's not a luxury, it's something that you have to do. Depending on what season you're in, that can look completely different. Sometimes it is a monetary thing where you need to invest in different tools or different types of support. If it is that, it's never really just that. You know, to get better, to improve, to work through your shit, you have to invest some time, you have to invest energy or intention, and that's the case for me. I had to give myself the space just to lean into this fresh start that I didn't even really know that I needed. If you watch the starting over episode, then you kind of already know what it is that I've been dealing with dealing with grief and making a big move to a different state. And making that move, having to find a new gym, new training partners, trying to get back onto a normal training routine and a normal schedule. And then in the last couple of months, figuring out that, you know, I couldn't compete because my ankle was fractured. So all of those things are just things that I've been trying to work through and process really for the last, not just the last couple of months, but I mean, the last year has been a whole process of trying to figure that out. So I started the documentation of that here on YouTube and on Instagram and TikTok, but at best, it's been pretty spotty, mostly because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't turning this into a spectacle. I wanted to make sure that my intentions for the series and for the documentation of this whole thing, I wanted to make sure my intentions were pure and that it didn't interrupt the actual process itself, if that makes sense. That being said, if you've been following the series here or over on YouTube, then you know that I'm out of the boot and into this nice little brace. And I am also a few weeks deep into physical therapy. I started back training just a little bit. I'm getting back into the groove of things. And things have been good. Honestly, I feel clearer mentally, physically, and emotionally, more clear and more sound than I have in the last couple of months, but definitely in the last year. And that's not by accident. I said it before and I'll say it again, being forced to slow down makes you think about everything, from your habits to your routines to how you're spending your time and structuring your days. Normally what I would do is fill my days and my time with tasks and obligations that are honestly not even necessary. They're not even that beneficial. I learned over like the last year that it was just a way of escaping what it is I needed to deal with. This time I really forced myself to kind of sit down, be still, and work through my shit. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be here with my pimping intact if I didn't do that. So I would say my first investment for sure was just time. I took the time to slow down, consider what it is that I was going through, and just started to process all of that. Now, I know that having that time is a privilege, that not many people have, but it is something that I had, and it was something that I wanted to take advantage of. And the way that I did this was super simple. The first was taking social media off of my main phone. Instagram, TikTok. I left YouTube for like learning purposes, but Instagram and TikTok, I don't have Snapchat. I took all of the social media off of my main phone, and I only allowed myself to use it for work purposes. So I would use my iPad or my work phone, and even sometimes I would use my laptop. I did this because it was taking up way too much of my time. And anytime I felt anything, I would reach for my phone. If I felt bored, I would reach for my phone. If I was a little sad, I would reach for my phone. The second thing was I took the time to just evaluate all the different tasks I was doing or I wanted to add to my list on a like daily basis, weekly basis, whatever. All of my tasks and obligations, I took a second to evaluate whether they were really beneficial or if they were like moving me closer to the thing that I wanted to get to, or if they were just taking up my time and helping me avoid what it is I needed to work through. In the end, without training, my days just kind of boiled down to working out, studying, and spending time with my family. And honestly, they gave me a lot of time to like go on walks and work through some things. It gave me a lot of time to journal and just overall just sit in silence and figure out what it is that I was feeling, why I was feeling it, all of those things. The second investment was definitely my body. We talked about this in the first episode, but just investing in rebuilding things the right way. Right after they released me from the boot, I got signed up with physical therapy, and my goal there was to just make sure that I was following everything to a T. Making sure that I was showing up every week for my sessions and giving that my all, to making sure that I followed the at-home protocol, and I gave myself the time to just rest and recover, making sure that I followed the recovery protocol. From that came a bunch of good habits and routines that we've just added in the house. For example, me and Danisha go out into the garage on Sundays and do like this 30-minute mobility routine, which is great, which is a really great add to our like weekly routines. For me, I developed a really good morning routine that wasn't too much, something that just gave me a solid ground for the rest of the day. I also developed a pretty decent night routine to kind of wind down. These are just things that are gonna help me when I'm getting back to a full schedule, when I don't have as much downtime. They're gonna help me stay intact. The other part of investing in my body was really just kind of checking my ego in the training room, because I am in a new training room. The natural tendency is to like really train like you're used to training and show up like you're used to showing up. But, you know, with my ankle, I can't necessarily do that without the risk of re-injuring myself. And so I really had to check my ego and have a little bit more self-control in the training room. And that looked like playing a little bit more defensively, not planting on my toes all the time, or really hardly at all, conceding sweeps, and just really kind of dial things back. So that's another big part of just honoring and investing in my body, is just making sure that I'm staying safe in the training room. Ooh, we so back. We gotta bring back these hoodies, man. This was the very first one. I keep this one around. It's all faded and stuff, but I keep this one because it's the first one I made, and it's just a reminder, you know. Environment was also a really big one. Just making sure that I made my space, invested in my space, and made it feel homey, made it feel like a place that I wanted to spend most of my time in, was super important. I was listening to the Grits and Eggs podcast. This may have been a couple of months ago, but they started talking about like how not decorating your space, not actually living and settling into your space is a trauma response, and how we like just don't completely decorate and move in because we feel like it's fleeting or it's gonna leave us. And that one made me sit and think, and I was like, man, we might like, we gotta decorate and move in and feel settled and feel at peace in this place because we're gonna be here. We did, so we did. Partially because of that, and mostly because me and Danisha kind of promised ourselves that we wouldn't hang up empty frames again like we did in the last place. So we started to just really invest in the space, make sure that the space felt like home, make sure that it felt cozy, and not do too much, but just make it feel homey, cozy. You know, obviously that goes for the house, but also my garage gym. I wanted to make sure that I cleaned that up and made it look like a place that I wanted to go train and be in. My current home gym setup is absolutely possible because of today's video sponsor, Ritfit Sports. Ritfit's Black Friday sale is live right now through December 7th. So if you've been wanting to upgrade or start your own home gym, this is honestly the best time to do it. They've got deals on racks, benches, weights, anything you can think of, my setup plus more, and you can stack my code on top for an even bigger sale. We're picking up on the home gym build series now that everything's all cleaned up, so we're definitely gonna be making some upgrades. I can't wait to share what that looks like with you guys. The fourth investment, and honestly the hardest one for me, was support. Letting people help me. It's not my forte, it's not my go-to, it's not the thing that I'm used to, but it was definitely one of the biggest things that helped me get through and work through my low periods during this time. Leaning on the right people and actually taking the time to talk and communicate and fellowship with people instead of isolating myself, which is what I'm used to. It's wild how that simple shift made the last couple of months so much more easier to get through. It's been, honestly, it's crazy to even think about. Core investments alone changed everything. Mentally, physically, and emotionally, I feel steady again. Like, I'm ready to get back moving, get back to training 100%, and start to rebuild things in a way that actually feels sustainable. It feels good. It feels good to just be here, be present with these newfound habits and routines, and be ready to really just push and get back to things. We're not back 100%, but we're getting there. So next week, we're gonna jump into some more training videos and just share the process of getting back to training. I'm super excited. I hope you guys are super excited about it, or at least enjoying the content. I'll catch you guys in the next episode.